sometimes bias is not implicated only in the racial context. Sometimes bias is about how we relate to someone. An interesting study utilized two Caucasian men, just pictures of two men equally matched. You couldn't see what they were wearing to determine social status or class. All you could see was their face. People were told to look at the pictures of the two Caucasian men and decide certain things about them. Now, underneath the men, there were descriptions. Underneath one man, we'll call him Bob, they said, this person is from the Midwest. They're an evangelical Christian. They are a registered Republican and a conservative, just to summarize. And then they had another picture. We'll call him Jim. And underneath him, they populated the field with the description saying he's from the East Coast. He's not particularly religious. He's a registered Democrat, and he considers himself to be liberal. It didn't matter to them what labels they placed on Bob and Jim. What mattered to them was what happened next. They asked the test subjects to select who they believed they were most similar to, Bob or Jim. That's what they wanted to know. So let's say people picked Bob. They thought Bob was a great deal like them. Then they put the people inside of the MRI machine and they want to ask them questions. And you think they're going to be these highly political charged questions, but no, they ask questions like, do you think Bob likes Oreo cookies? Do you think he does his laundry once a week? Do you think that he wants to go home for Thanksgiving? And if you think about it, these are questions about preference, predicting behavior, intimacy with family, perhaps even character. Many questions. And when they scanned people's brains while they were thinking about the person that was similar to them, whether it be Bob or Jim, they found that the ventral medial prefrontal cortex activated. Just with these simple questions, but they kept them in the MRI machine and they asked them the exact same questions about Jim. Does Jim like Oreo cookies? Would Jim want to do his laundry once a week? Does he want to go home for Thanksgiving? What they found was interesting. When they asked those exact same questions about Jim, the dorsal medial prefrontal cortex activated, not the ventral. They paid great attention to this because what they were able to do is look at the process and see that just the inference of a different socio-political, religious background and different regions of the country from whence these people came created a different neurophysiological reaction in the subjects when thinking about their Oreo cookie preference. They weren't done. They kept the people inside of the machine and they asked them another set of questions. Do you like Oreo cookies? Do you do your laundry once a week? Would you want to go home to see your family for Thanksgiving? What they found was interesting. The ventral medial prefrontal cortex, the same part that activated when they thought about the person that was most like them, activated when they thought about themselves. When we see people who we believe to be similar to us, we utilize portions of our neuroanatomy to analyze their behavior. And that means that there are people who have an advantage when we analyze their behavior and people who have a disadvantage, because we typically give ourselves the benefit of the doubt in ways that we don't give to others, particularly others who are less like ourselves. This example is race neutral. It's gender neutral. It's about things that we think don't have as much of an effect on how we relate to one another. Think about what happens when we add the politically charged and extremely problematic functions of race, ethnicity, national origin, language, gender, and beyond.